YouTube, what's going on? Kevin the Tech Ninja here, and today we're taking a look at this Dell G15 laptop. It's rocking AMD Ryzen 7 series. Now this laptop does come in several configurations from Dell's website, so make sure you check out the links down below to see the current configuration and pricing. This video is sponsored by AMD, but all opinions are my own on this laptop. So this build has AMD Ryzen 7 5800H, which is an 8-core and 16-thread mobile processor. Has NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 Ti with 4GB of DDR6. It has 8GB of RAM and a 512 NVMe solid-state drive. It's a 15.6-inch 120Hz display, and it retails for just under $1,300. Taking a look at the laptop, I think it looks great. One of the better designs that I've seen this year. The lid reminds me of concrete with little specks throughout, and there is this slight texture you can feel that swoops down in like a triangle coming to a point just a few inches under the Dell logo. And when you look at it like this, it creates a sense of depth that you can see right here with this textured in the middle. I think overall it's just a really good looking laptop, especially from this back lid. The back hinge is a slate gray color, and then when opening it up, it exposes some additional grills. And then right under that are the speaker grills, which has a unique design that some may not like, but I actually kind of dig this look. To me, it's like a modern metal sleek look where the grills are grills, but they sort of look like just little slits. I think it looks really nice. The keyboard is pretty standard, but I do think there's some nice spacing between each keycap, so I felt right at home when I got on there. I was pretty much able to type just as I do with any keyboard. Also think the actuation has a nice travel, especially for a non-mechanical keyboard. There's also a 10 key, but the page up and page down are over by the arrows. And you also have a touchpad, which is standard size, but using it to click, I think the actuation point is deeper than other laptops I've used before, which is a little bit different, but it's something you sort of get used to. As far as ports, we have a lot of them and they're scattered throughout this laptop. So we have Ethernet, then we have headphone all on one side, and then the other side we have USB-A ports, and on the back there's a USB-C port and another USB-A port and HDMI, and of course the power port. For me, the design feels like a premium laptop. Everything feels very tight. There's no loose hinges, nothing creaks. It just is very solid, and I think it's extremely attractive. But obviously I know that is the eye of the beholder, but I am beholding this laptop to be a very attractive laptop. So it's a gaming laptop, so we gotta talk about performance. And once again, we have that AMD Ryzen 7 processor, which is made for power efficiency and performance. It's an 8-core processor, so handling tasks weren't a big deal for it at all. It ran really smooth. And the way I look at things, I compare it to my workflow. So if I'm using Adobe Premiere to edit a video, while it's rendering, I could pop over to Photoshop to start working on a thumbnail for that video or any other additional assets I may need. Now with the video rendering in the background, I didn't lose any type of performance in Photoshop, and that for me is huge. Some laptops, you see that it starts to slow down or may even get throttled when you start rendering video, but on this laptop, I had no issues rendering and also working on other tasks at the same time. I do love that the fans are not constantly running in the background the whole time. A lot of times you don't hear the fans at all. But then if you need something like rendering a video or playing a game, the fans do kick on. But when they kick on, they're not super loud. Like some, especially gaming laptops, they sound like an airplane taking off when you start doing anything very intensive. I would say this laptop has sort of a slight hum when the fans are running. So here's how the laptop sounds on battery, on an Edge web browser, watching a YouTube video at the highest resolution with the screen maximized. Now here's what it sounds like when gaming, playing Halo, and Halo's a pretty intensive game. So as you hear, the fans definitely kick on while gaming, and there is a difference between gaming and non-gaming. But even with gaming, the fans aren't that loud at all, and it's very usable even in quiet situations. So speaking of gaming, let's talk about the GPU. This is the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 Ti. And this is a very solid video card that gives you great performance for price. And let's dive into some benchmarks for some of the games that I've been playing. Now for me, my game of choice right now definitely has to be Halo, and I played probably 10 hours of Halo on this laptop alone, but I did play other games as well. I did have the brightness at 100%, and I let the game pick the recommended settings. This testing was done with NVIDIA's latest game-ready drivers as of December 20th. Halo's default setting was a mix between medium and high. Mostly the textures were medium, but a few highs were in there like effects and anti-aliasing. The default frames per second I was getting was, it was hitting 60, but a lot of times it was dipping down into the 50s and sometimes in the high 40s. But overall, when I was playing, I had a pretty smooth experience. When I moved it up to the ultra settings, that was using 7 gigabytes of memory, so obviously I couldn't use that in this game. But when I moved it up to high, even then, it was still almost getting close to maxing out the maximum memory that this graphics card had, and definitely suffered at that point. But I would say the sweet spot was medium, but medium did mix in some highs, and I got a pretty good experience overall. So with Dirt 5, the graphics in this game is pretty tricky because it doesn't tell you what auto is doing. On auto, I was pretty much lock steady at 60 frames per second. I mean, no matter what I did, it was at 60. Now moving it to high, we were at like 55, but it would, stop down to the 40s when a lot of action occurred, like splashing up mud and things like that. Trying to move to ultra, yeah, I got the same error saying I maximized the VRAM. So I'm assuming auto is like medium mixed with a little bit of high. So with Forza, there's an in-game benchmark tool, and when I run it on recommended settings, it moves it to medium, and I get around 65 frames per second. A lot of the testing, 65 was just pretty solid, and it worked well. But when I went to high and ran it again, it said 55 frames per second. So you lose 10 frames per second when going from medium to high, and 55 is definitely still playable. When it comes to battery, it's really hard for me to fully test it because I use laptops sporadically. I'll use it and stop and start and all those things, so I don't have a full benchmark for you. So I did go to Laptop Media, and they have a wonderful benchmark that they can run on laptops. And what they rated this laptop was 500 minutes, so 8.5 hours of usage, which was going between websites and also watching video. If you are running out of battery, this laptop does come with a 120 watt power brick in the box, so you can charge this thing back up pretty quickly. Overall, this is a wonderful option if you want a gaming laptop that isn't overwhelming when it comes to the size and also fan noise. This laptop can be a great hybrid laptop if you're running it off battery. The way I look at it is like my laptop I use for gaming, and also use it for creation of video and also other regular internet stuff. So I want a laptop that can do everything, it can do it well. Although this laptop is a bigger laptop, it doesn't get super loud, it doesn't get very hot. It's just a stable laptop overall, but if I want to game, I have the ability to do so. I feel like Dell has done a great job with this laptop, going with the Ryzen 7 series processor, and for me, having the flexibility going between tasks makes it a slam dunk. But of course, those are my thoughts. I want to know what yours are. Sound off down below. My name is Kevin the Tech Ninja. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.